This light is not very bright. So you might know already, or you might not. If you don't know this news already for Amazon, whoops, then you're going to be totally shocked. I just looked at my email, well, not just, a couple hours ago, and Amazon just told us that, let's see here, that they've increased fees. Let me look at the page. So it says, 2018 US FBA inventory storage fees and policy changes. So they've changed the fees for monthly inventory storage fees and long-term storage fees. And now they have a minimum long-term, or they have minimum long-term storage fees. So the monthly, which is, you pay, which depends on who you are, whether you're new or you've been here for a while, but you probably understand that you pay a monthly fee based upon cubic feet. It's a charge per cubic foot. And then, based on how many items you have in storage in a warehouse. So they've increased that by 5 cents starting in April 1st. So it's, what is today? It's March 1st, so in a month. And then they changed long-term storage fees, and that's the huge, huge change. By the way, these changes, some people have been saying, and I mean by some people, I mean some people in some of the FBA groups. Oh man, I didn't even plug in the microphone. People, I mean some of the other sellers, small, medium-sized, big sellers, have been talking about this for a while in the forums, book selling forums, FBA selling forums, about monthly storage fees going up. And I've heard a couple people mention that they felt that the Amazon was going to change the long-term storage fees from twice a year to monthly. And guess what they did? Okay, I'm not laughing. Like, seriously. I mean, I did, but Terry says I'm looking for a job. Yeah. It's like it's crazy, man. I mean, I just took a quick look at some of the comments people are putting up there on Facebook, and people are kind of going through a meltdown right now, which I totally get, because of these changes. So if you don't know yet, there's only 3 of you on here, so probably most of you already know that are watching, but maybe as this video goes up and more people watch it, you're not going to know. But you should go to your Seller Central dashboard, and they'll have the news there. You probably get an email as well. But those are the changes: the monthly storage fees, the long-term storage fee, and this new minimum long-term storage fee. So starting April 1st, the monthly inventory storage fee. Starting April 1st, monthly inventory storage fees will be increased by 0.05 cents. So 5 cents, what am I saying? 5 cents per cubic foot for standard size and oversized items. This change will first be reflected in May 2018 charges for storage that occurs in April of 2018. So for me personally, that's not a big deal. I mean, it's more money out of my pocket, but it's not that much. I mean, last time I was charged for storage fees, it was like 11 bucks for the month. I only have right now, I just looked, 1,138 items at Amazon warehouses. So, and my storage fees are low because most of my stuff is CDs and they don't take up that much space. But still, more money is more money, or less money rather, for us is less money. But that's not the big deal. The big deal is the long-term storage fees. So starting September 15th of this year, long-term storage fees will be adjusted, and the assessment dates will be changed from semi-annual basis, which was February, was it 14th? And August 14th or 15th, to a monthly basis. So starting in September 15th, so every 15th of the month from September of this year, they're going to be assessing a monthly long-term storage fee. That's right, you heard that correctly. Instead of it being where it used to be once a year and now it was semi-annual, now it's going to be every single month. So starting in September 15th of this year, every single month going forward indefinitely, we're going to be charged a long-term storage fee for everything that we've had in the Amazon warehouses 6 months or more or 12 months or more. So if you have an item in there for 180 days or more, starting in September 15th, it'll get charged for a long-term storage fee. Now, let's see, it says, okay, so starting on September 15th, monthly and the 15th of every month, items in fulfillment centers 181 to 365 days are going to be charged $3.45 per cubic foot. What it is right now is $11.25 per cubic foot, and that was twice a year. So that's for the 6 month, right? And then the items in fulfillment centers 365 days or more are $6.90 per cubic foot. So let's see, what is that? That's double, right? So depending on how many items you have and how big your items are, we're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit with those fees every month starting in September. And then, just to make this a really nice piece of news and a way to start off the month, Amazon also includes this minimum long-term storage fee, which will start on August 15th. We will introduce a minimum charge of 50 cents per unit per month. 50 cents, so 2 quarters, 50 cents per unit per month for items in fulfillment centers for 365 days or more. And it says the greater of the applicable total long-term storage fee or minimum long-term storage fee. I don't get that. Someone has to decipher that for me. Will be charged. But so 50 cents, I'm assuming, let's see, the greater of the applicable total long-term storage fee. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if that's on top of the, so starting in September, if you have items that are a year or older there in the warehouses, that you'll be charged the 50 cents plus the long-term storage fee. But regardless, the 50 cents is going to be a lot more than long-term storage fee. So maybe it's both. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys figure that out a little bit better than me. Let me know in the comments. There's 7 of you here now. So those are the news. That's the news, right? 5 more cents per cubic foot starting in April 1st. And long-term storage fees are no longer biannual. They're going to be monthly starting in September, and 50 cents if it's been there for over a year starting in August 15th. So welcome if you're new to selling on Amazon, because if we thought the fees increase was bad, which it was last year, a year ago, this is even worse in terms of for items that you leave there for a long time. Now, however, what some people were saying in the forums, and which I agree with, is basically what this is doing is, let's see, is it's cutting, it's basically Amazon saying, we don't want single unit items, or how do I say this? We don't want one-off items, so one book title, one CD title, in our storage or in our warehouses for more than 6 months, basically. Once you hit that 6-month period, then they're going to start charging you the long-term storage fee every month. And then if you have it there longer than a year, if that wasn't expensive enough, then they're going to start hitting you with 50 cents per month per item that was there for over a year. So basically they're saying that they're in the fulfillment business mostly and in the short-term storage business, i.e. less than 6 months. And ideally ideally they would like, and you should like, to turn your products over quicker. I understand long tail, and I understand a lot of people do long tail, and it's a great way to have a high average sale price and make some great money with a lower inventory count or whatever than doing quicker selling items. But now you just have to take into consideration these fees, and can those items that are there longer than 6 months, and especially ones that are going to take longer than a year to sell, can they absorb all of these fees and still make you a nice profit? If it's a book you got for $1 or $2 and it legitimately sells for over $50, let's say, and it takes you over a year, you're still probably going to make a profit. But I mean, you have to really, based upon your experience and the data, you have to be really sure that that book is actually going to sell for that $50, that it's not going to just drop down to a $10 book or CD or whatever it is, and vinyl, whatever, and then just you pay all those fees, and then you end up having to sell it off for cheaper, and you lose money, and times however many other items that might happen to. So there's impossible to know exactly, for sure what your item's going to sell for, but we all base this on data, sales rank, sales history, and that sort of thing, other offers. There's 10 of you here now. Definitely, if you want to leave a comment, go ahead, because I'm sure a lot of you, although maybe some of you don't know about it, now there's 11. So I think I said, is this going to kill off? I'm packaging some eBay stuff, but is this going to kill off third-party sellers, right? I was thinking I was a bit dramatic, kill off their dreams, but essentially, I mean, when I started this back in 2014, it was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great opportunity. You don't have to pay long-term storage fees. The monthly storage, per book was basically like 1 or 2 pennies. And everybody was making money and all that stuff. And then this Amazon slowly just started to let us know that they are not interested in storing our books and other items for years, or at this point for much more than 6 months, so that they can have more space and make more money, basically. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think it's good in terms of it just forces us, if you want to continue to sell on FBA. So for me, if you want to continue to sell on FBA, you just have to be really good at sending in items that either will sell in less than 6 months for a profit, whatever a sufficient profit is for you based upon inbound shipping, monthly storage, and cost of goods, whatever you obtain that item for. And then if you have items that you think are going to take longer than 6 months, and definitely if they're going to take longer than 12 months, then those need to be high-priced items. I mean, 20 bucks if you sell, I mean, a book's different if you sell a CD. I'm not sure exactly, I have to look, but I think I'd make like 12 or 13 bucks or something like that. But if I, me personally, getting them for pretty cheap, whoops. That's an amount that I could, that would work for me or whatever. But basically, you just have to figure out what types of items you're sending in. Well, but largely, are they big books? Are the items that are going to sit there for longer? Where's the dollar amount that you can still make good money, even if it sells in 8 months? And then you have to pay a long-term storage fee for the $3.45 per cubic foot for those 2 months. If it's going to take you 14 months to sell the book, a year and a half, are you going to be able to absorb those fees? Because 50 cents per item, over a couple of months is going to be a couple bucks. So you have to consider that. But, if you're selling books that are selling for 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks, and they're taking a year or more, then you're still going to be able to deal with the fees. You're still going to make good profits. But, if that's not the case, then you're might end up losing money. Yeah, there's definitely not, magical books or CDs or anything that they're guaranteed to sell quickly. But, I mean, for me, coming across CDs that I've seen a lot of times, or just based on the data, I know when they're going to sell really quickly, but I totally understand. I mean, it's not a guarantee that just because I'm going to send an item in that's ranked below 5,000 that my copy will sell within a few weeks. It should, but prices might fluctuate. Suddenly a couple people might go down, really low, bring down all the prices. It might take a month or so for it to go back up. I don't know. Amazon might drop their price. That happens a lot. So yeah, there's definitely, Terry's right. I mean, you're right. There's definitely no one has no one can see into the future and, predict exactly what's going to happen with prices and competition and the Amazon price and that type of thing. But all we have to go on is the data and our experience. So, I mean, that's all I can go on. And so far, my sell-through rate is my turn rate, whatever you want to call it, has been pretty good since I got much more strict about it, about not about focusing more on sending in items that sell quicker, and the ones that don't to have more profit, packed in there. But yeah, I mean, definitely, it's not a guarantee. Whoops, what are we doing here? Book selling is pretty much dead now for the common man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's probably, I think there's always, just because of all the videos and just general information out there, there's always going to be new sellers who are, especially, they're just not going to understand the fees and how they impact their business. Sorry guys, hold on. Okay, how it impacts their business and how much they should or should not be willing to spend on an item. How long will it take to sell? I mean, I feel sorry. I don't know. I feel sorry for brand new sellers right now that don't have any idea what they're doing, or in terms of how hard or easy it is. Well, how hard it is to find valuable books wherever it is, at thrift store or whatever it might be, and how much the fees really are. Because, new sellers, they can't sell CDs, but they can sell books, and there's always going to be a steady influx of new sellers. And unfortunately, a lot of them, some of them, most of them, I don't know, are not going to understand. I mean, probably not even, I mean, definitely not completely, but they're not going to really get the full impact of the fees. And they can't send a book in that's, for $8 or less or whatever, and expect, even if they got it for free, that they're going to make a big profit, even if it sells right away. Terry says, I have a book ranked, did you say 1,000? And it's been sitting there for weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on the price, your pricing versus everyone else. I don't know. I mean, it's not always a guarantee for sure. I try to just price them the best I can, and hope that those fast-selling ones sell pretty fast, and I'm still able to make my money back. Well, make a profit, I should say. So, I mean, what does this mean, right? Like, clearly, understandably, a lot of people are upset about it. But, it's kind of just like it was a year ago. I mean, I kind of felt, it's either you adapt or you get out and you do something else. And that sucks to hear, and it probably makes people angry to hear me say that. But it's true. I mean, either we stay with Amazon, selling books, CDs, whatever it is on Amazon, and deal with the higher fees, the long-term storage fees, or we don't, or we just stop selling there. And if you're not willing to do merchant, you can move to merchant fulfilled, but if you don't have the space, or you're unwilling to deal with that whole situation, which is fine, then, and then eBay, of course, you have to store your own stuff as well. Then it looks like you're done with selling online. I mean, that's it, right? You can complain, we can complain and say how mean it is, or wrong it is, or greedy, or whatever, or Amazon doesn't care about us and all that stuff. And they probably don't, or I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. But basically, we either stick with it, adapt or not. Either you adapt by sending in stuff that sells less than 6 months, or stuff that sells for a lot more money that takes longer than 6 or 12 months. And that's about it. Or you switch a lot of your inventory to merchant fulfilled, and you store some of that stuff in your garage, in your house. You get a storage unit, whatever it takes, and you try to make more money that way. So you don't have to pay the inbound shipping fees, the monthly storage fees, the long-term storage fees, etc. I know a lot more people are doing that. You can also try eBay. I mean, it's adapt or die, or just do something else, I guess. It's like, it's just like, it's just reality, right? Of selling on Amazon. So, I mean, you kind of have to make a decision, right? Probably take March to kind of decide what you're going to do. Take a look at the fees. Take a look at your inventory. You know the kind of inventory you send in. If you've been doing it for, you know, a year or more, I would say. If you're brand new, you'll only be doing it a few months, you're still figuring it out. But if you kind of have an idea of what your inventory is, the kind of inventory you find and you send in and that sells, then, you know, you can kind of get an idea of whether you're going to be able to absorb these fees or not. Are you still going to make a profit? I mean, if you're just doing this as a part-time thing to make extra money, and you're not relying on the money to pay bills or, you know, that type of thing, then it's not as serious. But if this is your full-time income, or it's even just part-time, but yet you're using the money or some of the money or all the money to, you know, to live and pay bills and all that, I mean, then you got to take a hard look at it, because you don't want to waste your time and more money if it's not going to make sense for you. That's kind of the reality. So I don't know what's going to happen. So what's going to be the result? So what was the result a year ago? Well, no more penny books, right? I see penny CDs, but I don't see penny books. I see the bottom being $5.98 for books, by and large, for merchant fulfilled mega sellers that do their own fulfillment. So is pricing going to change? Is there going to be less FBA competition because of this? Probably. There's always going to be an influx of sellers, of new sellers, but there's probably going to be less. Sorry for the loud tape noise. There's probably going to be, you know, less FBA competition. I would imagine, at least in the short term. We'll see in the long term, over like 6 months, a year. But I gotta say, I mean, those monthly long-term storage fees are frightening if you have a big chunk of your inventory that's been there for more than 6 months, or more than a year especially. So you really got to think about it. I just wonder, I mean, people are talking about, I'm doing merchant fulfilled on the FBA groups, Facebook groups. I'm doing more eBay now, or I'm just stopping doing FBA altogether. So what's going to happen? I mean, is Amazon just basically they're going to continue to be the #1 online source for books? Is eBay going to kind of creep up? I don't really know who else could come close to Amazon at this point, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but we just kind of have to adapt. I mean, I've been getting more and more into eBay. I sold, so yesterday was the last day of February. Let's see, I sold, what, 80, so it's about 2 days shorter, you know, than the typical month, but I sold 85, or I made 85 sales on eBay, which I think it was a couple less than I did in January. I think I did 89 in January. I'm still figuring out eBay and what sells the best for me, and pricing and all that stuff, but that was, I mean, I just added a bunch more CDs, and I'm up to like 340 items in my inventory on eBay, but I had way less than that for most of February. I probably had more like 240, 250, around there. And I sold 85 units, or 85 sales. A few of those were auctions, like lots. Most of them were individual items, like CDs, video games, a few DVDs. So anyway, my point is that, like, the more I increase my inventory on eBay, the more I sell, the more I can supplement my Amazon income. I have the space to store this stuff. Not everybody does. So, you know, you just kind of have to figure out what works best for you. But I mean, there was a guy on I came across on Instagram. You may or may not know I'm on Instagram, Marshall Bookman, and he's selling books. He sells books on Amazon, but he also sells them in lots, I guess little lots on eBay, and he sells a lot of them. He was showing his numbers and selling over think he had sold in the month like over 200 or something. I don't know. But, you know, making some nice nice money on Amazon or on eBay selling book lots, and also selling some individually. So, you know, you can diversify, you can try merchant fulfilled, you can try eBay, but it all depends on your situation. This is a gut check right here, a reality check for everybody. Are you in, are you out? How are you gonna tweak your business? A lot of people made changes last year. They started to send in more. They increased their lowest minimum, you know, price that they were, or they increased their average sale price, I should say. So instead of sending in any more $10 books, they didn't go anything below $15, or some people went all the way up to like $18, $20. You know, people adapted, and some people talked about how they made more, less sales, but more money because they had increased their average sale price. So you just have to adapt. I mean, I went with more volume and more fast sellers, and that's been working for me pretty well. But, I mean, I send in higher priced items as well. But, you know, just wanted to make the video. Let's see. Anyway, there's 18 of you on here, so you guys are pretty quiet. I'm gonna have to go in like a couple minutes. I have to pick up my daughter from school. So if you have any questions or comments, real quick. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to make another video another time to talk more about it after it kind of the dust settles and people have started to feel it out and see what they're gonna do about it. But I think the bottom line is do more merchant fulfilled, more eBay. And if you're going to stick to mostly FBA, you got to send in stuff that's going to sell within less than 6 months, or you got to have a higher minimum price. So whether it's $20, $25, $30, whatever it is, that's the price, the minimum price, sales price you have to stick with for items that are going to be there longer than 6 months. And if items are going to be there longer than a year, I don't know. I mean, I don't come across too many items that I think, oh, well, geez, that only has like 2 sales a year. Maybe it'll take like 6 months, a year more to sell. I'll send it in. I mean, I would rather do merchant fulfilled on that, assuming that the prices were really high across the board. But to each their own, it kind of depends on how you want to go about it. Whoa, we're up to 20 now. Whoops. So... hello, how you doing? I had to, but I'm really hoping now. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what'll happen. But Amazon has definitely gone crazy with the fees. And they're definitely making a loud declaration statement that they are not interested in storage. They're more interested in fulfillment. So they like the sellers that send in stuff that sells quickly. I guess they don't mind as much if it's, you know, if you send in 100 different ASINs or different items and they all sell quickly versus you send in 100 of the same product and they all sell quickly. I mean, I think they just want us to sell stuff quicker. That's about the bottom line. Yeah. Stop doing FBA. I do merchant now. Yeah. I think so. More people went into merchant fulfilled and eBay after last year's increase in FBA fees, and I think a lot of people just left, stopped selling, you know, books and media or whatever online, and that's probably going to be a similar fate after these fee increases. I don't see that that's going to change much. Yeah, so it's crazy because when I started, it was like all roses basically, and everybody loved it, and oh, it's like, oh, you know, sales are so great, and fees are so low and all this, and you can just have your book sit there for a year and, you know, year and a half and hardly pay anything. And, you know, when it sells, you make your profit. And that's not really the case anymore. Amazon, I guess the FBA programs got too popular, or they just, you know, they just want to make faster sales. Whatever. But it's changed. And either we stick with it or not. Amazon is just squeezing the sellers. Thanks for making this video. You're welcome, Jerry. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they're just telling us, I mean, you can sell as a small seller on FBA, but you better send in stuff that sells within 6 months. Otherwise, we're going to penalize you, because we don't want that stuff sitting on our shelves in our, or whatever, in our storage, in our warehouses for that long. Yeah, that's basically the bottom line. All right, guys, so I gotta go pick up my daughter. I can't keep the stream going. I wish I could, because there's 22 of you on here, and sometimes it takes bad news to get a lot of people to tune in, unfortunately. But it's either, you know, it can be looked at as bad or good news depending upon your situation and where you are. But try to look at it. I don't know, man. I'm trying to give, like, try to be a little positive about it and say, well, just get better about what you send in so you don't get hit with so many fees. But it's not always that easy, because it depends on, you know, where you find stuff and what you have access to. But adapt or die, basically. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and as always, remember, keep booking.